Welcome to the Locked In podcast. I'm your host, Jerry Loughran, owner of Loughran's Olympic Boxing here in London, Kentucky.
I'm Wyatt Loughran. I am a boxer here at Loughran's Boxing.
I'm Ayden Mills. I'm also a boxer here at Loughran's Boxing.
I am Brayden King. I am a boxer here as well.
Alrighty. Well, today we got another episode here. It's going to be our second time ever podcasting, so we're going to go and run through some topics today. We got to get all the giggles out. This is everyone's first time being on an official podcast board and table.
I am a boxer here at the podcast.
Yeah, you can hear the nervousness in his voice. So, what do we got? What do we got going on? We're gonna go and start off with Ayden here. Ayden, Silver Glove champion last week. Victory. Two-time.
Yeah.
The two-time.
Yeah.
Call him the doc. All right. So tell us about that. How was it last week winning your second Silver Glove title?
It was very good. I thought I gave a much better performance than I had been, so I was proud of that. I think I did really good, especially conditioning-wise. I made sure I showed up in elite condition. I didn't skip out on anything. I showed up ready for 3-minute rounds when I only had to fight 2s. So I was just ready for it, and it was just a good feeling getting to win, especially how I won. I think that's the best feeling.
Yeah, he didn't even come off the stool, right?
No, he didn't. I think that's the best thing, is just to break someone down enough to where they don't get back up.
And yep. Oh yeah, vicious victory.
When you look across the ring and they're using that fan and the towel like European style and Asian style, they're doing all this stuff and they're trying to cheerlead. You know somebody's on the edge of the cliff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he didn't get off the stool after between the second and third round.
Awesome victory. Brayden, let's go over to you because you had a fight last weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. And I won it.
And how was it? Come on, walk me through the steps here.
Well, I just kind of went in there and I was ready to fight. And I didn't want to feel sorry for my opponent. So I just went in there not knowing who he was. And that's usually how I like it, not knowing who they are.
Right. Having a little bit of sympathy for people after you beat them up?
Yes. I always try to be a gentleman after I box.
Oh, you hear that, everybody. He's a gentleman.
Brayden's guy was that was a match bout because the Silver Gloves are for 17 and under. So at 19, that was a match bout. But his guy was actually the reigning 17, 18-year-old division Indiana Golden Gloves champion.
Really?
Yeah, and it's kind of that he's the Joe Frazier looking guy. And, of course, Brayden's 6'3", thereabouts.
Yeah.
So it was
a
stylistic matchup there, And we didn't mention with the Ayden's guy, we're seeing now where the borders are open, we're seeing this influx of Cuban boxers now. So Ayden's guy is actually a Cuban-born boxer, so you're seeing more and more of that here in the States. And then Brayden's guy, like I said, Brayden and Indiana Golden Glove champion. So that was a pretty good win.
So what's next for you, Brayden? Were you looking for another fight? What's the future of boxing for you?
I'm fighting tomorrow, or in 2 days. Yes, I'm fighting in
back-to-back weekends.
Awesome.
Well, by the time this is out, he would already have fought.
Yeah, by the time we get this uploaded, another fight under your belt. Well, what's the future?
The future? I didn't really think that far in when I got, but I'd like to go pro, just to say I did, and see what I'm fully capable of.
Right.
Because I hate college.
So both of these guys are right at the end, entering into the open division, entering into the men's division. So both of them between now and probably June will be like the National Junior Olympics, and then they usually have what they call the Summer Invitational. So that'll most likely be their first national tournament. And then Brayden's riding a 3-fight win streak this year, so he's undefeated in 2024. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Ayden's riding a 1.5 year long win streak. Ayden's won 6 straight.
I actually thought about it the other day. I have the longest win streak in the gym right now. I have 6.
Is that right? You ain't trying to give it up?
No.
Yeah.
6 wins, huh?
Yeah, 6 in a row.
Yeah, so his last loss was June of 23, and it's only his 4th, but so he's won 6 straight.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what's the future for you, Ayden?
Hopefully the Olympics, and then I don't know where from there.
The Olympics.
All of these guys will be old enough. You have to be 18 in the qualifying year, which would be 2027, and so all these guys will be old enough to qualify. So right now we're getting as much experience as we can get between now and June. We want to get them up to 15 to 20 bouts of experience under the belt, and then attend that first national tournament. That gives them time to grow between now and 2028, which is what LA. Right. That's what we're looking at. So that'd be fantastic to be on the team.
And coaching, you I remember you saying this one time. He doesn't necessarily have to be on Team USA to get in the Olympics, right? He can get bidded out to another country to represent.
Yeah, I've seen that happen before. It's not as common, but you'll have people that another country may give you their bid, but it's not enough even to win the trials. You have to do good enough in international competition to accumulate enough points. So you can have somebody win the U.S. Olympic trials. That I think our last team there, we had way less people that qualified to compete than actually won the Olympic trials, right? I think we had, I'm thinking how many men's weight classes, 13, and I think we only sent 8 because you have to do good enough internationally now to go, because you're only allowed a certain number of events in the Olympics. A lot of people don't understand that. And each bout counts as an event. So you're not always tell them, is it good enough to be best in Kentucky? Is it good enough to be best in the United States? When you're the best in the world, that's when it's good enough. Right. So make sure you're comparing yourself against the Cubans, against the Russians, the Eastern European teams that dominate at the Olympic level.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And 2027, that'll put you at what? You'll be 21, 20 years old, 2021?
I think he'll be 20, active 17.
Yeah, he'd be 20 there in the qualifying year, so he's plenty old enough. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you're gonna have all that extra time to grow into that, get into the adult frame and everything too.
Yeah, because you don't you hit your manhood 18, but you don't really have it till 19. Right?
About 19, there's a big physical change. That's the age I was. I don't know about you. Of course, this guy sitting here is real strong guy too. About 19 is when everybody started going, wow, I was strong before that, but the body at 19 starts to really
leaps and bounds
develop. Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially tendon strength, ligament strength, all that starts coming in together. So let's just say you go to the Olympics, what then? Are you going to keep on pursuing boxing, or are you calling it good after the Olympics?
I've actually thought about this, but I know I think Jerry's mentioned it before, but if you win the Olympics or you have a gold medal or anything like that, your first pro fight, you actually get paid quite a sum, right? Just because of that.
I always call it getting treated like a wife. Right, if you go to the Olympics now and medal, you're gold. Right, you're going to sign with Golden Boy. You're going to sign with Top Rank. You're going to be given training stipend. It's red carpet. Right, you have 20 bouts and you're 10-10 or something like that as an amateur. You're going to be selling tickets before a pro show. Right, you're going to get a cut at that ticket sale. So you want to be that guy that goes to the Olympics and medals is best case scenario. If you had a gold medal right now, we haven't had one since. Andre Ward, 2004. If you had a gold medal right now, you could probably you probably get a blank check.
So expect the gold medal here in 2028 around that.
He's gone.
Awesome. I'll be looking forward to it. So Coach, we have another big fight venue coming up this Saturday, not tomorrow, but this Saturday. What's the expectations coming out of this venue? Who do we got fighting? And
we've got a slew this Saturday. It's 5. We've got Preston Scott, his first bout back, full boxing. He's the reigning Aries, the MMA circuit, the reigning Aries Muay Thai champion. He was on Team USA Muay Thai a couple years ago. He was number 3 in the nation at 11-12 back in 21 in boxing, USA Boxing. He was the number 3 boxer in the country. So this is his first amateur bout back in about 2 years. It's hard to match him, obviously, with that much experience. So he'll be boxing this Saturday, as well as Brayden's going to be boxing in a match bout. Caden Collins will be boxing. He just won the Silver Gloves as well. He couldn't be on the podcast.
Yeah, speaking of which, we had 4 Silver Glove champs?
Yeah, we've got three. There was 3 champs, and then one moving on to the finals. Awesome. Which is White Probus. Right. Okay. Caden Collins, Landon Lewis, he'll be boxing Saturday. It'll be his second match bout. Doing really good. 16 years old, 145, and then I'm leaving somebody out.
Which Wyatt Probus was on the last
Wyatt Probus. Wyatt Probus is actually he's 16 years old. Well, it'll be 17, I think, by Saturday. You already have a birthday. Reigning Southeastern Golden Glove champion, right? Won the Golden Gloves there at 16 for Southeastern Association. He's 4-0. Last 3 bouts are knockouts. So this kid is him and Preston Scott both are probably 2 of the best finishers I've ever coached. So there are going to be some fireworks. It's in Harrogate, Tennessee, Fist of Fire Boxing, and the host is Owen Beck. He's Jamaican born. So the gym's actually painted like in all Jamaican colors and decked out. It's pretty neat. And it's in the bottom floor like of a bowling alley.
It's awesome.
Really cool, really nice, neat, a small gym, but really nice, neat, good food.
It's next door to it.
I enjoy going to those shows.
Right.
Yeah. Low ceiling, right? Like Brayden's 6'3", ceiling's probably 10 feet, and then the ring's 3 of that, right? Yeah. So, yeah, Brayden can't throw his hands up as high as he can.
Franklin.
So it'll be a really good show, though, 5 bouts. That'll be our last club show of the year. When we have a guy, because I have so many tall kids, right and left-handed, like when we have a little guy like the Landon Lewis, he's more of that compact Joe Frazier type style fighter. So every now and then I like to see one of those show up because I don't want to get pigeonholed to he can only train tall guys.
Right.
Or he can only train lefties or righties. I want him to say, man, you don't know what that guy's coming with, right? He may have a short, stocky guy box like Tyson. He might have a guy box like Ali. You just don't know. He can coach them all. That's the way I want to be remembered.
Yeah, multiple styles, multiple disciplines.
It's a gift and a curse being tall. I want to just say that it's a gift because I like the fight. I don't like this boxing that we're doing. I like to get in there and fight, but I understand the need to box. I think it's the most beautiful thing ever to get in there and fight. I just love it.
And did you ever have a problem when you first started boxing, Brayden, of stage fright or anything like that?
My first bout, my legs were like shaking, and I was the only one in our gym boxing, and Jerry was like, "Yeah, this is because you're special," and I was like, "No pressure, no pressure." But they calmed down now because I just get in the ring and I'm just here to do a job.
Right.
I didn't take it that seriously last time.
So you would say that your ring awareness, your ring dominance just came over time, getting used to fighting in front of people and just getting used to that kind of mentality, and it just kind of seeped away over the years of boxing.
Yeah, I've been boxing for about 4 years, going on 5.
Yeah.
So.
So you would say that now when you go up to the ring to the fight, it's more about anticipation, less anxiety. You're just more like, yeah, let's get in there and let's do this.
It's the weight. The weight kills you. Like just sitting there, and then last fight, Caden was about to fight, and then they did a 30-minute intermission, and that sucks because I was already warmed up. I was ready to go.
Yeah, and now you got to stay warmed up.
Now you got to stay warmed up. Can't sit down.
Yep.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yep, I remember they did that to me at Hopkinsville where they had that big, dancer. The local dancers came out and put on like a artistic performance, and I'm sitting there, and the thing was
the whole ring shaking.
The whole ring was shaking. It was hot too. It was like 95 degrees.
Some
in
guy
there.
passed out.
Yeah, some old dude passed out, and Justin actually helped him out, and but yeah, no, that was not a fun venue. And then just sitting there, I wore sweatpants and a hoodie, and I'm a big dude. I sweat. I don't. It could be 30 degrees outside. I'll be sitting down sweating. I did not enjoy that at all. But
Nobody did.
Ayden, what did you think about the last venue?
The last one?
Yeah, like in the shopping mall.
I thought it was a weird location, but like it was really open. I like that. Like a lot of the time you'll get like really small venues and there's all these people crammed into one area, and so like you're struggling to go find that like spot for Jerry to hit mitts with us or something to warm up, and it gets really hard to find that spot when it's so cramped. So I like that it was really open, but it was kind of like desolate. Like it looked like it was gonna cave in a little bit.
Were you on the Franklin show?
No.
The Franklin show was so bad. I took a nap in the van. That's how long. It was like 20 bouts.
Really?
We were there all night. Yeah.
A lot of folks have these amateur events. They don't think about bathroom facilities. They'll have an amateur event with 20 bouts, and you do the math on that. That's 40 boxers, and then of course they're gonna have some family members. And you got coaches, officials, and they'll do that with 2 single-seater bathrooms.
yeah,
Well, that's a terrible idea. Then you have to educate your boxers. Well, guess what boxers have to do before they box? They have to change clothes, and they have to lace those shoes from the bottom up. Don't tie up a bathroom lacing up your shoes. So anytime you're having an amateur boxing show, a lot of people don't put enough forethought in front of it. But if you're in a situation like that where it's 2 single-seater bathrooms, you need some porta potties. Yeah. Or you're not your crowd, and then of course then concessions would be the second thing, or empty. Another pet peeve of mine is they don't watch who comes in, like at the weigh-ins, and then they want to empty the whole building out to make sure everybody paid, right? Instead of have somebody on the door, and just like you would at a club or something like that, nobody gets in unless they're registered with USA Boxing or they pay. Keep the environment sterile from the time the doors first open, and it's not really hard to organize it, but the bathroom deal at those kind of shows, I think he had to run to McDonald's.
Yeah, I had to go to McDonald's last time to use the bathroom because there was like a line like all the way out.
Yeah, and they're taking like 15 minutes because they're changing clothes and all this. Yeah, so
not even changing clothes. Sometimes
certain people have like the bowling alley show Saturday. You can walk right up the steps from this gym, and it's a plethora of bathrooms, place to change, food, play a game of pool. It's pretty neat.
You go through the door and it's like an arcade.
Yeah, there's an arcade.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so Coach, Fury versus Usyk.
Oh yeah,
Number 2.
So we're actually December 7th. We're going to Harrogate, Tennessee. There, that Fist of Fire show, and then the 14th we've got Preston Scott. Another Muay Thai fight there, a gogi there, just out of Nashville. Then I turn around the next day and we leave for the USA Nationals in Richmond, Virginia. At the end of that week, I'm really excited about I think his finals will be on Friday at the National Championships, because the Usyk fight is the 21st, correct?
Correct.
So I'm excited about being back in town for the Usyk fight. Let's see what all these other guys think before I pass my opinion, right?
All right, we'll start off with
Usyk
you.
Fury 2.
Let's start off with you two.
Don't know enough about it to say opinion.
You don't have a good
So
opinion?
you mean to tell me you didn't even watch the first one?
I didn't watch the first.
Who do you like better as a boxer?
Give me Usyk.
You like Usyk?
I'll give me Usyk.
Yeah.
Usyk.
I think it's obviously Usyk. I think there's just nothing. Even if Fury shows up top condition, right? My thing about Fury that I'll always say whenever anyone asks or it brings up that he's like the GOAT or the great. So my dad loves Fury, and we argue about this all the time. And I'm like, if you ask anyone, name one guy Fury fought. Maybe you'll get the guy who occasionally says Klitschko, but that's he was already out of his prime. Right?
Oh yeah.
But then majority people are gonna say Wilder, right? Majority people say Wilder. Wilder never beat anyone within the top 10 of the WBC.
Majority people saying Wilder what?
Like if you ask Fury, if you ask somebody like who Fury fought, right?
They'll bring up Wilder.
They'll bring up Wilder, or they'll bring up Klitschko. But you can already just say Klitschko is at the end of his prime. But with Wilder never beat anyone within the top 10 of the WBC. Never.
No.
So you can't make Wilder's not even in the top 10. So
He actually went 10 years before he fought for a champion. They knew they were developing him after the 08 Olympics, and they really took their time. And he didn't have that much amateur experience, even though he medaled in the Olympics. But yeah, Bermain Stavern was like the first real guy and he did well, but they really did him a disservice because we were watching the other day Felix Savon, the great Cuban, 3-time gold medalist, same physique as Wilder. Like he was making 200 pounds I think he was at least 6'6", right long. And I'm thinking, what if Wilder had that all-around skill set?
He would have been devastating.
We'd be talking, everybody else would be vying for second, right, in GOAT status, right, if he had that. But what happens is when you have a kid walk in the gym with genetics like that, a lot of coaches will see cash cow, and he probably was born with that right hand, and then you're going to say, hey, you're going to do nothing but jab only and left hand only rounds. And then the kid obviously don't like that, and the coach thinks, well, what if my cash cow walks away, right? It's like that girlfriend you're afraid to put some boundaries because she might walk away.
Right.
And it really did him a disservice. And then the one guy that he needed to develop him with his jab, they got rid of when he threw in the towel. And that's a guy that he needed more than anybody. And yeah, just really sad that he didn't get developed into a total package.
Yeah.
But he finally ran into somebody that a right hand wasn't enough.
Yeah, there's like with that, it's just like with Fury, right? You can't name anyone that he's beat that was truly elite, right? So he's not a GOAT status, right? And the best condition we've seen him in was Deontay Wilder too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the best conditions we're ever going to see him in.
Fury.
Yeah, ever. And I don't think he'll show up in that condition or better for Usyk again, because he knows it's the end. Usyk's already at the heavyweight division. There's no way Fury can beat him. I don't think there's any way.
Well, I'll tell you what. The only thing that if Fury really does come in serious, because I think my biggest problem with Fury is that his chin's obviously gone now.
Yeah, he's getting old.
He's getting old.
You could always knock him down.
Yeah.
Right? He's
just
been
he got back
down
up.
7 times. He just is really loose. I call it dish rag fighter, and he gets back up.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think it's because his legs are so weak for his body. Like, he's got some chicken legs. He can dance real well, but he's got no platform to support that frame.
And eventually, if you keep getting knocked down like that, there's some real neurological trauma going on for you to get hit in the chin and your body say, oh, we need to reboot here.
Right.
So when that happens 7 times by 200-something pound men, eventually that light fit switch is going to get flicked, and it ain't going to come back on in less than 10 seconds.
Right.
Right? And it's the end. You can't keep playing that dangerous game, jumping up down on tightrope and think you ain't going to fall off. It's coming. So, all right, Wyatt, what do you think?
I think Fury, because he was clowning around in the first fight. I watched it, and he was just clowning around. As you can see in the early rounds, he was doing the Muhammad Ali in the corner and clowning around. If he really locks in for this fight, and if he really focuses in the early rounds and all that, I think he gets him.
To me, the clowning around comes off more as just you're nervous, right? And you want to put on a good show at least. You know, in case I get knocked out, oh, I got this at least. Put on a show. That's what it came off to me as.
And,
Not that he was so supremely confident he could do that.
and yet every time we've seen Fury eat it. Every
Yeah.
time he does something like that, it's just like you start to see Fury doing this goofy
Like
stuff.
talking to press row when Steve Cunningham, the cruiserweight knocked him flat. Of
Yeah.
course he got up and won, but and then back to me, I think that Usyk's going to be even more confident because now he knows he can hurt him. He knows he's had him down right on the end of his rope, and I think that. Giving Fury credit, he had exactly the correct straight. If I remember correctly, he was catching him he was really working the body early and dominating those early rounds. So I think you're going to be one of two things. It's either going to be the best Fury that you've ever seen, and I don't think that's what you're going to see, or I think you're going to see Usyk stop him this time. Be more aggressive earlier in the bout, put some money in the bank, probably that left hand of the body, and get him out. It could be the last time you see Fury in a boxing ring.
I don't think
it's going to be one or two, and it's going to be nothing in between.
I don't think the first option is going to happen at all. I don't think
he's got it in him mentally to work like that. Like that second Deontay Wilder fight, when he stepped, I think it was the second round, and he's driving with his back leg and catching Wilder with that power jab. Yeah. He's 260, 270, and I'm like, that's like a right hand from a 220-pound guy. You can't get hit like that. And then the wheels came off the bus for Wilder.
I think, with that, Usyk, after fighting him once, I think Usyk's the type of guy that you only fight once. Because once he comes to fight you again, he already knows what he has to do.
Yeah, right. And he knows he can hurt him.
Yeah.
And Usyk is one of those guys that he's so disciplined now, that Eastern European philosophy. He's not going to do anything to mess himself over. He ain't going to be out drinking, training for a fight. He missed his daughter's birth. Am I wrong? I think he missed her birth.
Yeah, it was.
He's not going to be out drinking. He's not going to eat food he ain't supposed to eat. He's not going to do anything to hurt his odds. But Fury might.
Fury will. I think Fury will.
It most likely will. Yeah, and it's going to take the counterpart. And I think with his body and him doing that over, I just don't see him being that guy from that second Wilder fight that he needed. But you saw that it was there in the first fight. The first 3 or 4 rounds, he was dominating and touching him up, making him very uncomfortable. But once again, it was clowning and conditioning.
And he only had those 4 rounds. I think, I don't know, not changing the subject, but like Fury to me is not even like, I'd give him like he's like a B tier, low B.
If he
high
wasn't,
C.
we were talking about it earlier. If he wasn't 6'9",
Yeah,
we wouldn't even know his name.
exactly.
Right? If he was 6'3", he'd just be another boxer. And he took a tremendous God-given gift that could be the GOAT, could be GOAT
Yes,
status.
Exactly.
And he took it and turned it into, he ain't even going to be a top 10, remembered as top 10 heavyweight.
It's why Fury
Yeah.
is like one of my least favorite fighters currently.
Right,
He's
right.
Like, I just
He
don't
has
like
not
him.
maximized his God-given gift at
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
I enjoy fighters that you can tell like put in the work and they come in and they give dog every time they fight. Like
Yeah.
I like Tank. Love watching Tank.
Yeah.
'Cause you know
well,
he's
Tank,
conditioned.
a lot of people don't realize with Tank, like I've seen him when he's a little kid in the Silver Gloves, Calvin Ford is a heck of a coach. If he shows up at an amateur show, you better have your lunch packed. He gonna have them glasses with the, the little beads and stuff hanging down. But don't get it twisted. He's gonna, and so Tank grew up sparring the best amateurs in the country, boxing them, and had that real pedigreed amateur career before he ever turned pro. So if you watch, like with the Ryan Garcia fight, Ryan's leaping in with that left hook, and Tank is just dropping straight down, letting it go over his head, and then coming up and throwing a left hand, whether it's body or head, catching Ryan moving into that shot. And he made it look easy, but that was a design play,
Yeah.
right? That wasn't happenstance.
Everything he does is surgical. He picks it apart and then he just fires.
Right, but that comes from that
Experience.
extensive amateur background against the best amateurs in the country, that he knows exactly who he is and when and where to go get it.
I think hopping off of that, like something we could all jump in on is what do we think about Ryan Garcia getting banned?
Get
What?
banned?
He got
Did he
banned?
get suspended for?
He got suspended.
He was suspended. I don't know. Have they lifted the suspension yet? Does anyone know?
He's
they
fighting some guy in Japan. I don't know. What
He's
his name
doing some
is.
exhibition
I
over
don't
Japan.
know. I think it's like a real fight, but it's
It
just
is a
like
real
another.
I think Ryan,
It is.
Ryan is a smaller
What's his name, the
version of Tyson Fury.
No, it's not Inu. It's look it up actually. Somebody.
Yeah, he's getting ready to do like an exhibition fight or something
Yeah, it
over
was
there.
like they had the press.
Well, he
conference.
got. There's argument over the levels and everything. He got popped with what Ostarine, which is a SARM,
Ostracine.
which will help you keep your muscle mass and everything as you're cutting. It isn't making you more explosive. It didn't like he deserves some punishment for that, because that should not have been in his system. And I don't buy somebody gave me a bad supplement. But that fight probably wouldn't have been a whole lot different even without that in his system, right? That's not an Anadrol, a Tren, something that's going to make you suddenly power clean double the weight you did before.
Yeah, or D-ball or anything like that's going to help.
But
with
he's a
endurance.
head case.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, he's a head
And,
case.
I've heard him talk about it before, about how he said that his test levels are at 1900. And
Whatever.
so if his test levels,
like that.
if his test levels,
He's probably got a
truly
tumor if they're really that high.
I mean, well,
yeah, it's the
if
first thing they're going to think is you got a tumor.
are, right. If they really are that high, I can understand why he's so darn crazy.
Well,
You know,
Yeah.
and
I
like,
think the
There's no
craziness is
estrogen
like
in
a.
there.
yeah,
I think the craziness is like an act. Like that's just like a big stunt.
Well, when you see a guy,
Just make
one thing
money.
that shows real mental instability with a fighter, when you see a guy, not just the annex, like he's drinking beer on the weigh-in
That's
stage,
why
but
it's weight. It's
but-
like weird.
when you watch a guy that say he's boxing at 140 and then you see him and he's ballooning like these big peaks and valleys in his weight and stuff, usually that's when you're dealing with that mental instability, and you definitely lack a discipline. Do I ever see him being like Hall of Fame great? I think what happened was he was the perfect matchup to beat Devin Haney.
oh yeah.
And Devin Haney is not what they hyped him up to be. I mean,
He's like a bee.
the old Loma
He's a
should have
snake.
got that decision. Yeah,
Yeah.
and what has really restricted Devin Haney's career from blossoming and better than
His
what it is?
dad.
His dad thinks he's a trainer.
Yeah.
How many other boxers has he trained?
You can't name them.
Can't name them.
Can't name one.
If you can't train, I think that's so terrible. You see these guys, and then they build all these negative repetitions, right? How many repetitions has he got hitting the mitts with his son? Thousands, tens of thousands. So nobody can fix him now, right? That's ingrained. That's in that midbrain. There's no thought process when he sees visual stimuli. and Dad's not a trainer. You know, like same thing. Look, Teofimo Lopez. How much it costs when you get to that level? If Teofimo Lopez doesn't lose that fight when he lost his title, how much money would he be making now?
Oh,
okay,
tens of millions.
If Devin Haney hadn't lost that fight with Ryan Garcia, how much would these next fights be worth? That's when it's going to hurt him. It ain't going to hurt him with the guy who just swept the floor before he boxed you for your second pro fight. It's going to hurt them when they get to that top level fighting on pay-per-view and they lose by that much because Dad wanted to train you. Well, let Dad root you on and facilitate and all that, but he don't need to, unless he, like now Floyd Mayweather Sr., he's a real trainer, right? You saw what he did with Oscar De La Hoya. You know, that dude's real. But a lot of the, Robert Guerrero, I think I looked at his dad, he was talking trash to Floyd's dad, and he's like 0-7. He's the guy you call on Wednesday, come take a beating on Saturday. And he's talking about whipping Floyd Sr. I'm like, that dude gave Sugar Ray Leonard a pretty good fight. You don't want that. Slick. So you see a lot of that in boxing, you know, that the dads are trying to be a trainer and they really don't have any expertise. And they don't want to come in the gym and get under a good trainer like an apprenticeship and really learn the correct way. They just want to YouTube it.
Right.
There's like even with Devin Haney, like you can't really name anyone that he's fought that was just big or anything or just like a great fighter.
Lomachenko's his marquee win. Yeah.
And like
that was contested, you know, and that's a 36, 37-year-old Loma. Which Loma's last fight, he looked good.
He did. He did, but
he realized he ain't going to get no love from these judges at that age.
I've got nothing but love for Loma. I wish he would have started his pro career a lot sooner, though. I think he's staying in the amateurs.
Well, that's a great point. Once you win a gold medal, what in the world? Like what is that second gold medal doing? Now we've got before she gets mad at me because she may see this, Claressa Shields that I met. I think first time I ever saw Claressa, she's 14, something like that. She won a gold medal at 17, right? So she stayed amateur and won that second gold medal, turned pro, but she's 21 when she won that second gold medal, right? You win a gold medal at 24. Do you waste 24 to 28 to win a second gold medal? No. You're not going to monetarily. You look what it did. Lomachenko cost him hundreds of millions of dollars, most likely.
Big time.
Yeah, and it's not doing anything for you.
And not to mention all the years that you just took on your body of the discipline of training.
You're fighting the best guys on the planet in 3-minute rounds, right at that Olympic level. It's 3 rounds with these guys that are all going to be world-class professionals. And you've only got 3 rounds, so I mean it's heated.
Dogfight.
Yeah, it's heated. You're putting some miles on your body.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I don't think.
So I would have loved to have seen him turn pro, and then it was a terrible decision when his second fight he wanted to fight for a world title. The guy shows up grossly overweight, and they don't pull out of the fight, and then he takes an L in his second pro fight. I mean that.
Which even then, looking at that fight, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like it was a massive one side either way fight, but I do think Loma should have been given the victory on that one. But I mean, that guy.
Well, the way that you handle that is, hey, that's a pretty low weight for your fighter. We've got a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. If we don't want to be mean, we don't want to cost the promoter undue money. If that guy doesn't make weight, we have to pull out of the fight. You just let him know ahead of time. Then when he stepped on the scale, he didn't make weight. You say, hey, I don't care what time today it is, as long as he makes weight today. And you make that guy go back and cut and deplete himself, because he never made that kind of money, that Loma money, before that fight.
I don't even know what happened.
So they conned you. They swindled you when you had the 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and now you got an L on his record because you gave up all that weight and didn't hold the guy's feet to the fire.
Exactly. Let's go on and go back to our Ayden Brayden crew here. What do you guys think about today's boxing world as far as pros? Who do you guys got in your top 3? Top 3 to watch. Just and that's current modern day professional boxing. Your top 3 is that you would pay any money to go see.
Any money? That's crazy.
No, not any money. Okay, we'll say $99. All right, to watch on a $99 pay per view.
You buy a plane ticket, hotel, and a ticket in Vegas, right? If you had the cash.
Yeah.
Do you want to go, Brayden, or me?
You go first.
Probably to watch. That I already said Tank. Really enjoy watching Tank. Usyk. I really enjoy Usyk as well. I like the real technical fighters that get to watch that. And honestly, I really, really, really like to watch Bivol. Bivol is very fun to watch.
Beevil.
I love watching.
Ayden would like to watch Beevil.
I was about to say they do kind of fight the same a little bit.
Yeah,
a little
the
similar
guy
style.
who weighs his food would want to watch Beevil, right?
And what about you, Brayden?
I do like Bivol a lot too. I like the way Eastern Europeans fight. I like Tank as well, and I like Garcia. I really like Garcia.
If it wasn't top 3, Garcia would be on my list.
I like Garcia because he's schizophrenic.
I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious.
Dude, the schizos, they're so entertained to watch.
Hey man, all I remember is when he was doing that fight with that Devin Haney, and they were interviewing, and he's in his all white suit and he does little rap and everything. And he's rhyming. He's all hyped up about it. And Devin Haney's just like, I don't think he's taking this fight seriously. And then he gets absolutely
And then he goes, boom! They call me Captain Hook.
It's so good.
Switch it up. What's your favorite female boxer?
Oh, it's got to be Amanda Serrano at this point. I like Carissa Shields. I mean, if you're naming female boxers, those are the only two that are even worth note at this point.
Clarissa needs her Joe Frazier. That's the whole problem, right? She's been so dominant that she needs her Joe Frazier to really shine.
Speaking of which, what did you think about her calling out Keith Thurman for a fight?
That's ridiculous. We don't need Keith Thurman. These guys would beat her. These guys are amateurs would beat her. Like you're comparing two things that don't compare.
No, yeah.
Right? You saw that video floats around Serena Williams saying, "Hey, this guy, that would beat me in 6 sets." It's an anatomical, God-given advantage.
Yep.
You don't need Keith Thurman. If Keith really boxed her, he'd crush her.
Oh, yeah.
I've met Keith before, by the way. Real gentleman.
Yeah,
Real gentleman.
He was actually he was close friends with my wife's brothers growing up. He grew up in the same hood as them in Florida.
I met him at Cincinnati on the HBO show when Broner was main event. It's 2012. Had a guy boxing first bell on the show, and Keith comes. I was going up there to get my credentials, and I was 40. And Keith comes up and he says, "What weight class are you fighting in, sir?" To me, and I said, "God bless you, son. I like you already." Right? He thought I still looked like I was fighting at 40. I said, "I'm getting my credentials." Yeah, I got a guy fighting.
Since we're talking about Serrano, and kind of transition to the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul.
Oh gosh, yeah.
We've already talked about that.
Yeah, we'll get there though.
It's all right.
And Taylor.
We
That
get
was
their
an
opinions on
absolute robbery.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yep.
This guy said,
Yeah.
"Hey,
You don't
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
Hold
all
on.
watched it together."
What were you
It
watching?
was a
I was
robbery.
watching Katie Taylor win. That's what I was
What's
watching.
it? What's
So
it?
wait. And did you start watching at like round 7
Get
or
out of the
something?
gym.
No,
Because
we
all
all
watched.
we all watched
We had
the
a
fight
watch
together.
party,
Yeah,
and
we all
he was like rage bait. They can't truly believe this. He's rage baiting all of us.
he's 100% a crap starter. I can see that now.
No, I think she won. She
Yeah,
definitely
he's
won.
just
He's
first.
simping.
He's disagreeing with the pardon.
He's
Now
simple.
here he's on Serrano.
Yeah, I know.
Now what I like to do there though, because like with Pacquiao, if you remember with Pacquiao, the announcers were just every move he made. Oh, he looks so sharp, So what I would do, like with Bradley, got the decision over Pacquiao, go back and mute the volume, and actually score the fight round by round. And that fight was so close. I didn't watch every single second of it. It was so close that you could have made an argument.
Right.
Like I said, okay, if it's 5 rounds to 5, Katie loses by 1 point because of the deduction. But that fight was so close. I think who won that fight was women's boxing. That was.
Oh yeah.
Both their fights are the best 2 women's boxing matches that I've ever seen. I know Katie personally and think she's just an awesome young Christian lady. Good story on Katie. 2010 Women's World Championships. They wanted them to transition and start wearing the skort. Right? Yeah, they wanted
What's a skort?
skort like the skirt like you see the tennis players wear. It's shorts.
God.
In
But it's
boxing?
also, they were trying to
That's
glam it up a
terrible.
little bit. Katie said, "I'm a boxer. I'm not here to look good or be pretty or nothing like that." She said, "I won't box." She's 4-time world champion, right? And she stood her ground, so she's an awesome young lady. I'm surprised she stuck around this. I know she probably like to have family. I think she's 38 now. I think it'd be a great fight for her to retire on.
Told him
I really do. Yeah.
I like in that fight though, like we had like a full watch party together. I just don't see how the judges scored
No.
it the way they did.
I gave the first 6 rounds to Serrano, and then there was the 7th round was when, or it was 7th or 8th round when they took the point away from Taylor for the headbutting. I did not see that going in Taylor's favor at all. Now I will say the rounds that she did win, she won definitively, but it's not like a 10-8 round because Serrano kept throwing, kept coming, kept throwing. But those first, you can make an argument for the 5th and 6th round maybe going to Kate, but those first 4, there was no shot that any of those went to Kate. All those definitely went to Serrano. 5th round I gave Serrano. 6th round it got a little bit hairy. I know some of the commentators were saying, "Oh, that was a good round for Taylor." You can put that in her books, but either way you get to it with the point deduction, it's still Serrano. 100%.
What about Serrano though going through? I can't remember what round it was that she got cut. She goes through the second half of that fight with her eyelid hanging down
basically,
where she can see it.
Yeah,
a dog. Yeah, that is a dog. There's not many women built like that.
No, and
I think her stock went up. I even had the guys that's in our noon class, some of our Parkinson's guys and what have you, and like they just thought that she was beautiful and that how tough she was. I think her stock really. I don't know what's her age. How old is Serrano?
34, 35.
So she's still got some big fights.
She's still she's had 50 pro fights though.
You've got same weight class. I think she's in the 4 spot right now. You've got Samantha Worthington from Lexington, Kentucky, getting ready to fight on the undercard of Shields here coming up December. She's in the number 4 spot. So 2025, you're probably going to see one of those old dogs fight that young dog. Really, really neat. She won her first world title there at the Ali Center. Beat a 4-time world champion on that card. So I was there when Samantha boxed her very first amateur bout in Lexington. So that'll be really cool to see her in the ring with Katie or Serrano, and it's coming. Yeah,
we'll be looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
You got any other points you want to touch down on, Coach?
Nothing comes to mind right off the bat. We're just getting ready to be real busy with these USAs coming up, and then these guys are ready for a break after back-to-back weekends, and it's going to be really hard. We were talking about our like our award ceremony we'd like to do, probably January, and I'm like, we've got several of these guys that are undefeated for 2024. It's a good problem to have. And I'm like, I need some separation, because when you start thinking about Boxer of the Year, something like that, there's so many factors that have to go into that, right? Quality of not just being undefeated, but what if one guy boxed the stiffer opposition, right? Things like that. How good a teammate are you? How do you influence, affect other people? How many times did you box? So we're gonna have a hard time making some decisions over who gets what coming up here.
It'll be a dinner talk is what it'll be.
Yeah.